please welcome Bobby Sager, Chairman of Polaroid and also founder of the YPO Peace Action Network.
First, I want to say that I want to apologize that I don't speak Italian in this incredibly special hall. It feels like I should be speaking Italian, and actually my English isn't even that good, but let me try. I want to thank Valentina first for your leadership in making this film happen and in making this entire evening happen. And I want to thank all of the very distinguished guests for agreeing to be part of our audience tonight and participating in our conversation. I've spent most of the last 15 years living in troubled places around the world while doing the work of my family's foundation. As a result, I spent a lot of time in different communities and with a wide variety of people. I've been a white person in Rwanda, an American in Afghanistan, and a Jew in Palestine. As a Jew, I would say to my fellow Jews that my firsthand experience with Palestinians has been very different from the impressions that we have formed from a distance. In fact, if I were to generalize, I would say that the Palestinians that I've had the pleasure of working with are some of the warmest, smartest, and most compassionate people that I've spent time with anywhere in the world. I believe in Israel's right to a secure future, which is why it is critical for Israelis and Palestinians to put themselves in each other's shoes, to listen, and to truly understand the fears and the dreams of each other. Respect is such a critical part of their shared cultures. So many of the problems in the region result from the distorting filters of the media and the rhetoric of some religious and political leaders. We need to know each other as people, as human beings, not as stereotypes. We need to change the song in our head and understand that Israelis and Palestinians are actually incredibly similar. They have the same strong ideas about family and education, very passionate, good negotiators, strong-willed, and they all want to make their mothers and fathers proud. So much that is the same, yet so much focus on the differences. Truly cousins. But unfortunately, as we all know, some of the biggest fights are the fights that happen within a family. It's easy to throw up our hands and say that the problems are just too big. As I said in the film, it's a default mechanism. What am I supposed to do as an individual? I can't really make any real difference. But I say that we all need to consider the incredible power of concrete baby steps. A concrete baby step could mean watching a movie like One Rock, Three Religions to better understand one another's point of view. A concrete baby step can be a simple act of kindness. A concrete baby step could mean simply becoming a more informed citizen, so we are less likely to be manipulated, both by some political and some religious leaders, and even by our own bias and prejudice. We can point a finger and blame leadership, but we must also point that same finger at ourselves. We could do so much more to inform ourselves, to become a constructive, active part of the discussion. Being a more informed citizen is not a spectator sport. It requires spending real time reading, discussing, and especially listening. It's like going to the gym to keep our bodies fit, to keep our thinking clear, and to hold the people in authority accountable. Some say it will never change. It will always be that way. No hope. But I would suggest that you think about the fact that the Germans in World War II killed 20 million Russians. And now, Russia and Germany are each other's biggest trading partners. Common self-interest is a way forward. Signing a peace deal is just the beginning. How do you create an environment where peace can be sustained? So much comes down to feeding one another's reasonable self-interest in business, family, opportunity, and of course, freedom. As an example of shared interest, our family foundation established a micro-enterprise program in Rwanda, where there was a terrible genocide, almost 1 million people murdered in 100 days. Our micro-enterprise program in Rwanda brings together women whose husbands were murdered in the genocide, and they start businesses with women whose husbands have been in prison because they committed murder. People are working together because they are selfishly trying to make a better life for their families. Who cares if reconciliation is for selfish reasons? Enlightened self-interest is sustainable, and sustainable is all that really matters. Like most deals, peace in the Middle East won't happen without both sides agreeing to some kind of leap of faith. You can't possibly cross all the T's and dot all the I's. But no one takes a leap of faith without some level of confidence in who they are dealing with. Concrete baby steps matter. There is someone on the other side to talk to in both Israel and Palestine. And as I said in the film, I know that because I've met them. In the midst of so much disappointment and frustration, it's hard to find positive ways to move forward. But not to try is simply unacceptable. Are we willing to make the same kind of passionate commitment to pursuing peace that extremists devote to their causes? We need smarter ways worldwide to fight extremism, to marginalize extremists, and to empower moderates. Our strategy and our execution are weak. Our children are not safer. We need to find new ways to connect the dots. Concrete baby steps matter, even if it's just to keep all of us sane. I hope that as a result of tonight, that all of us find our own baby steps. Because cumulatively, if we were to add up all of those concrete baby steps, me doing mine and Valentina doing hers and Dick doing his and you doing yours and you doing yours, when we add up all of those concrete baby steps, that perhaps could change the world. At a minimum, we can look our kids in the eye and tell them we really tried. I once heard a fascinating speaker observe that anyone can figure out how many seeds are inside an apple. Really simple, you just cut it in half and count them. But the point that he was making is, while you can find out how many seeds are inside an apple, you can never know how many apples could one day come from one of those seeds. How many trees, how many orchards. The extremists on all sides are willing to die for what they believe in. What are we actually willing to do? What seeds are we willing to plant? What concrete baby steps are we willing to take? Thank you.